This is a 1978 Ford F250 HD. It's got a 6BT Cummins, completely rebuilt engine, and a 6-speed ZF transmission with a divorce 205 transfer case, which has been twin sticked. Truck has 18,400 miles on it since being put together. First driven on the road 5 years ago. It's been on the road for 5 years. Truck's never been driven in the winter. It's salt on the road, or if the roads are wet. Trying to give you a better video. I'm not very good at this. The engine was completely rebuilt, bored over 20. The crankshaft was never turned, it was just polished, it didn't need to be. Rods were checked, all new pistons, rings. It's got a stage 2 Colt cam in it. It's got a billet side cover for the where the tappets are on the side of the engine. Normally that's just like a tin stamped cover. There's a hydro boost. It's your engine breather right there. You can see the master cylinder back there for the hydraulic clutch. Twin ram, stainless steel, air horn with a heated grid in the back. It's not hooked up because I never used it. I have all the components there to hook it up. I don't drive it in the winter, so it's not needed. Has a B&D Super B turbo on it. Brand new air raid intake. B&D exhaust manifold. AMSOIL bypass oil system. It's got a coolant filter. There's your isolator for your dual battery setup. It's got dual Optima batteries. It's a Nip and Denso alternator, which is been rewired for one wire operation. It's got a fluid damper, harmonic balancer on it, ARP head studs, all OEM Cummins gaskets. This truck took 3 years to build. There's no expense spared. Couldn't find a shroud with the right geometry, so I made that shroud out of 16 gauge aluminum, and they coated it with bed liner material. It's got a copper radiator in it, aluminum intercooler, an aluminum condenser for the AC. So the truck has full AC as well. This is the oil cooler lines. They got oil filter lines going down to the AMSOIL system. Run on the frame. And there it is there. Has a cage built around it so it can't get damaged from debris or sticks or whatever. Stainless steel braided lines, stainless steel brake lines throughout the whole truck. Got a Ramsey style front bumper, custom made. I modeled it after the Ramsey worn bumpers of the 70s. Hand formed tubing, brush guard. It's all steel, there's no Bondo on that. Hood latch is all functional. Underside of the hood's been sprayed with bed liner. Tinted the color of the truck. Front grille has been sprayed with bed liner. Tinted the color of the truck as well. See the work on the cross members under here. There's no hack, nothing's hacked on this truck. There's thousands of hours of fabrication. Every piece was made full pen welded for the most strength you could possibly get, gusseted. After the frame was done being fabricated, front to back, it was sandblasted and painted with POR 15, 3 coats. There's your Dana 60 in the front end. Has 35 spline inner and outer axle shafts. It's a Heist Pinion 60, original from the truck. Solid axle knuckles, keyed on the top, with all heavy wall seamless tubing for steering components. It's a custom drag link. It's adjustable and it has a slight drop to it, so the steering geometry will be correct. That aux locker in the front end has an air actuated cylinder inside the cover. Disengage it. It's an onboard compressor in the toolbox in the back of the truck we'll get to later. It's 125 psi, 4 CFMs. Truck sits on 35-inch tires. They're ATZ P3s. They ride great. They're a great all-around tire. They are 350 70R17. They're on Eagle Alloys USA made wheels. There's 5 of those wheels and tires. 4 in the truck. There's 1 in the bed that matches. Same size. There's your Yukon 35 spline. Chrome ollie locking hubs. Kind of done with the military theme in mind. Simplicity, reliability. Take this truck anywhere. No worries. Get to the undercarriage. You see the bottom side of the cab. It's coated with 3M Schultz, body Schultz. It was sandblasted, painted with POR 15, and then coated with body Schultz. Those brackets are unboltable for the steps. You see the frame rail here. I'll get you a better shot. Shot of the front diff. Front cross member. This cross member right here probably has 30-35 hours of fabrication in it. Get that angle correct so that drive shaft will have movement, not be interfering with anything, and it's removable, the top on that, on bolts. If you ever got the drive shaft out, you can take it out like that. There's your jack shaft going from the transmission to the transfer case. That's a 1410 series drive shaft, same as the rear. Rest of your cross member here. All the drive shafts have got companion flanges. Right there is a little transmission for your speedometer cable to correct the speedometer so it has the correct reading. Nevada speedometer made that, as well as the cables. See, there's some drips here. This is condensation because it was 20 degrees and now it's 55 out, so it's a condensation. See the supports, transfer case, billet rear retainer for the bearing, billet front retainer on both your inputs and outputs. There's a ladder bar mount with the top, all greasable. Got a Johnny joint up there. There's your vent up there for your transfer case. Got a stone on it so it'll breathe and not let the mud daubers in there to block up your vent. Full 4-inch exhaust. Stainless steel front to back. This truck wasn't washed, wasn't buffed, none of that nonsense. I wanted the natural, just the way it is. This hasn't, probably 5,000 miles since it's been washed. Here we got your fast air fuel system, air separation system for the fuel, and your fuel pump filters. Got a cage around it. Another cross member for the transmission support. Transfer case support and the ladder bar support. On the side of the bed. On one side of the bed is coated with bed liner. U-pole wrapped the bed liner. And coated upside down. It was shot before it was put on. Rear axles are Ford 10 1/4. Originally the truck had a Dana 60 from the factory, but I didn't think that would survive behind the Cummins, so upgraded that. Put Dana 70 disc brakes on it from a dually, so it has a parking brake. And it's got true disc brakes you can buy parts for anywhere. The largest calipers of the time for that, that'll fit on here. Stainless steel brake lines. It's got a Detroit True Track in the rear, all new bearings, new everything. Mag high-tech cover. The rear fuel tank has a sump built into it, so there's no fuel delivery issues. There's the rear bracketry, the hitch on bolts. It's part of the bumper. Goes all the way up past the front spring mount on the frame. Not sure if you can see it, maybe on this side better. Show the exhaust. Back, custom rear bumper. Was mounted for a tire carrier and a fuel can carrier, pivots. Makes an 8,000-pound winch or whatever you want to put in there. Winch in the rear bumper bolts in. Pockets for LED backup lights. So. This side, you see the billet covers, PTO ports. Oil filters. Over here, on the side of the bed, your rockers, steps. This here is a shot to the back. Companion flanges. This is a hydraulic cooler. See a transmission. The manual transmission has an oil pump in it. And Ford uses an oil pump in the manual transmissions of this era, 6-speed. There's fans on it. I never needed them. I put them on there just as in case it ran hot, but it runs at 160 degrees after 8-10 hours driving. No issues with the transmission running hot. All new zinc plated wood hinges. On this side. Take it to the doors. Doors are mint. That black you see is cavity wax sprayed inside the doors before they were put back together. And mat, like I said, the mat inside's got a hole for the shifter there. If you want to change it, change it. I just hadn't got to it. Let's go. It's got wiper delay, factory OEM wiper delay. It says a factory tilt wheel. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to give you the best view as possible. Factory tilt wheel. Standard shift, no shifter on it. Very rare. There's your handle for your ZF. There's your twin stick shifters. Control the front and rear axles independently. You want low rear, you leave that one in neutral. You want low front, you want high front. Any combination you want, you can adjust with those two levers. That's the dealer installed AC. It's underneath the dash, it's not in the engine compartment, getting in the way. This here is air fuel control knob hooked up to the back of the P-pump. P-pump was rebuilt to a blueprint, Red Oak Diesel's blueprint, has their fuel plate in it as well as their marine injectors. Sun's kind of messing with me here, but you get the gist of it. This truck is clean. Put the headliner in it, speakers in it, radio, CD players, all your gauges, boost, volts, pyro. That's for the air compressor in the back. Down here we got fuel pressure, oil pressure, water temperature. Got a high output heater in it. There's your tachometer. $100 mph speedometer. Normally they came with an 85. There's your mileage since it was put on the road. The factory gauges don't function because it's I had all these others, so I didn't need them. Dash pad. It's in nice shape. No cracks in it. Lighted visor. Only the Lariat trucks had those. Alright. Let's take a little walk outside and show you the other door. Those on the outside. XLT panels, all panels. Seats out of a 94 Eddie Bauer. It's a 40-20-40 power lumbar. Middle folds up for the third seat. Down the body here. See, it's clean. You got a little scratch here. And a sweep will blow into it. This front cowl is removable. And unbolt it if you have to get in there to clean out leaves or pine needles or whatever. There's never an option on Fords. You frame the whole thing out, cut it out, and cut the cowl out of another one to make it removable so you can get in there and clean it out. Super Duty hood scoops. Those are steel off of the 50s big job truck. Two of them on here. On either side. You get the gist, this truck is clean. It's got a deluxe camper shell on the top. The deluxe models have trim rings around in the molding. The windows slide, have screens. It's got a plug for wiring. It goes to the light inside. Let's go to the back here. There's your hinge and the camper shell. It's like brand new. Tailgate's coated inside and out. Bed liner, U-pull, Raptor. Original hardware. Original OEM stuff all on here. Let's see. I'll show you the tailgate. All controls. It's tail lights, all OEM. They're all stock tail lights. If you can see it in the picture, there's Ford insignia on those. Those aren't Chinese, Taiwan repops. It's the real deal. Tried to buy everything made in USA for this truck, new old stock if I could. Side markers and front markers as well, new old stock. Take it inside, show you the air compressor, spare tire, matching spare. There's your Puma air compressor built-in toolbox back here. It's wired for switching the cab. It's 125 psi, 4 CFMs. At one point somebody had curtain rods in there. It's original Ford cap, deluxe cap. Took me 3 years to find this cap in this condition. Besides the scratch over here, we got a little bit of bubbling on the back of the hood here. You can see. I mentioned that in the ad. There's a line there. It's some bubbling over here. I didn't do the body work on the hood, I did the rest of the truck. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit the hood in my garage after I had the rest of the truck together. So I had a friend do it. He wasn't quite as meticulous as I am. I think you get the idea. This truck's a one of a kind. Truck averages about 18 miles to the gallon. Probably get 20 out of it if you drove 60, 65. At 80 miles an hour, this thing's turning 2,200. You could drive up and down any mountain you want, towing anything. He's got tons of power. It's probably about 500, 550 horse. Hopefully this video came out better than the last two.